Okay, let's talk about the shortcut keys here. So the first one we have here is selection tool. The shortcut key is Q, which is on the top left of your keyboard. So you can use it to select on the object. So if you don't want to select on this object, you can click anywhere on the empty space here in the viewport. It's deselection. Okay, once you select, you can see the sections of the object, the structure of the object and everything. And whenever you select an object, you can see at the right side of your window there is an attribute editor. So this is an attribute editor which will show you about the details of that 3D object you have selected. And if you don't want this to appear, you can always click here. This is your window. You can click that to disable and enable the attribute editor. Yeah. Okay, so the Q is selection tool, right? You can just pick the object or select the objects. For example, if I have a cylinder, now you can see there are two objects here in the same viewport. So one is the cylinder, another one is a sphere which is inside it. But where is the sphere now? It is gone inside the cylinder. You can go to your window menu and outliner. There you can see there is a sphere. Yep, it's selected now, and there is a cylinder. Okay, great. Now the two objects, but do we have to every time go into the windows and outliner to verify whether 2 to 3 objects in the same position or not? No, that's not actually needed. Let me go to my workspace. Yep. That's not actually needed. You can press 4 on the viewport. It's called a wireframe mode. We call it as a wireframe. There you can see the objects in the wireframe view. You can also click on the wire. You could see everything. The entire object is divided into wires. So you can select on the sphere. Yep. Now the sphere is selected, and you can now click on this cylinder with selected. Yeah. So this is a wireframe view, and the shortcut key for wireframe is 4. Now there is another shortcut key which is 5. Yep. So 5 is a shaded view, we call it as. Here you can see when the shaded view, the wireframe display is not visible and you cannot select the object inside it. That is also there. And there is another, there are some other keyboards shortcut keys. Let's talk about those also here. Now let me press 4 to go to wireframe mode. Now I select the sphere which is inside the cylinder. Let me do it. Yes, it's done. So the one way you could able to confirm whether the sphere is selected or not, you can now see it is highlighted in the green color, which means it is selected. If you still are not sure whether it's selected or not, you can always switch to your windows. There you can get your outliner window. There you can select the sphere. Yep. Now select your cylinder. You can see cylinder here. Yeah. Now let me select the sphere. Great. Now I would like to move it outside of this cylinder. So select the sphere. Done. Now press W. Great. Now you can get a move tool. We call this a move tool. You can press 5 also, because this 4 wireframe or 5 shaded view is just for your visibility. It won't make any differences in the object's properties there. Great. Now I press W. Now this is my y-axis, this is my x and z-axis. Now I can move it in whichever location I would like to. Okay, now you can see that I move this object. Great. Okay, and similarly, if I want to rotate this object, I have to press the shortcut key E. E is for rotation. Now you can see the red color is for x-axis rotation. Great. I press Z for undo, so it will come back to initial stage. Then we have your green color for y-axis rotation. You press Z for undo. Now it came back to initial state. Then the blue color for the z-axis. Great. Now I press Z again to revert back. Great. We moved, we rotated. Now I would like to scale it up. Scale in the sense to increase the shape of this object, the size of the object, or decrease it. Let's press R, the shortcut key. Yep. Now you could see the same one. So in order to scale an object only in the x-axis, all you have to do is you have to select this red one, and yep, click it. It's scaling only in x-axis, and all you have to do to come back is press Z. Great. Then y-axis. Now it's scaling only in y-axis. You can also see the x, y, z-axis value changes here when I do it, while I do it. Yeah, can you see that? Yep. Now I press Z, then z-axis value. Yes. Okay. So is this? Now I press it again. Now I came back. But is it the only way to see the x, y, and z-axis of these objects? transformation values? No, there is also another way. So this is called a channel box. You can get it by click on this button here, the channel box, and you can this is a channel box which tells about the object position. Look here, the object is now moved in the z-axis of 2.3. This is called movement. Translation is movement, XYZ, the shortcut key is W. Rotation, XYZ, the shortcut key is E. And scale, XYZ, the shortcut key is R. So we have all these three options here. I would like to go through this again. I select this one, I press W. Okay, I can move. Could you see that? The movement, whichever you're going direction will be displayed here. Great. And there is also another way to do it. It's an interactive way. It's like, instead of moving in the z-axis for 5, all you can do is you can just click and move the object, or you can directly click on this text box and press 5 on your keyboard and hit enter. It's done. And do not forget to press enter once you enter the value in any of the text boxes of your My interfaces. Right. Now I would like to move this cylinder, which is by default will be in the position, rotation values of 0. Now I select this object. I would like to move it in my rotate in the x-axis for a degree of 90. So all I can do is I can click here, I press 90. That's it. So this is also a best way to precisely move, rotate or scale the objects. We call this movement, rotation and scale together as a transformation value, because these transformation values are vital when it comes to creating a game and positioning 3D objects. Okay, I'm using my alt left click. Now look at that. Fine. Now see there. Now my camera is focused on the cylinder when I use my alt left click and it's rotating there. Viewport is rotating. What if I want this object to be, or the camera to be focused on the sphere instead of this? I select it. I press alt left click, but still it is not happening because I have to fit this object to the center of my camera by using the shortcut key F. Yes. Now it works. Everything works. Now if you want to bring both of this object to the center of the grid, we call it as an origin. The center of the grid, we call it as origin. So select this object, I make it 0, enter, great. Select this object, make this 0, enter, or you can select both the values 0 and enter. Now everything goes back to the origin. And you could notice that there is one thing there. Look at here, there's a scale value. This is scale XYZ. So the scale value usually be 1, because if it is 0, you can't see the object by default. Look at that. You can't see the object by default. I'll just go with this. Let me select the cylinder. I move it away. Yeah, okay. Now let me put the cylinder's x-axis 0. See, one axis is gone, y-axis 0, and this is gone. Now it became a thin line. Again, z-axis 0. That's it. You can't see the object. That's why whenever you create an object, by default it will be, the scaling value will be 1, whereas the rest of the values will be 0s and again. Yeah. And there is a way to click. I can just use my left mouse to click on any of the text box and drag it down all the way and leave your mouse there. Now press 1, enter, all 3 text box values will be filled. This is a faster way to fill your text box values in channel box. This is a channel box which tells about the position of your 3D modes. Great. Then I hope now you would understand the basic things. So now there are 2 objects, and if you would like to select which object you would like to work with, you can press Q to selection, and you can press W to move, and you can press E for rotation, and you press R for scale. Yeah, all the values are there. Great. Now I'm not convenient with having a channel box here which fills my workspace. So is it a way that I can click and drag and drop it here? Yeah, you see a blue line when you drag and drop this on your Maya, which means it would like to pad on it. Great. Now it is switched back. Now you can able to switch through your panels through this small arrow box. Now we have a channel. Yep. Now you can click any of this one. Great. It will be visible again, and it will be channel box. Okay, let me select from here to here. I press 0, then from here to here I press 1. Okay. So WER we have discussed, and there is another one thing called visibility in your channel box. When you select any object, you can see the visibility here. So it is on by default. So whenever you press 1, it is on. Whenever you press 0, it is off. So now the visibility is off, you can't see this object. But your object is there in the scene, but the visibility is turned down to 0. That's why when you look in the outliner, see the object name is there, but it seems invisible because the visibility is off there. So in order to make it enable, click and press 1 again, it will be back. Yeah, even if you type 100, it will just come back to on. It's a boolean value, either 0 or 1. 0 for off, 1 for on. So, and one more thing, instead of there are two ways you can either move by using these arrow keys, or you can click and you can enter the precise values. Okay, like 25. Oops, the object is somewhere else. Let's see where the object is. Okay, it is there. I can bring it down. Wait. Or there is another way, which is click on the name. For example, if you would like to move this object in translate Y, click on the translate Y label, then come to your viewport, just middle click. Yeah, just middle click and drag. Could you see that? It's working. Yeah. There is also another way to do the same. Yep. So there are three ways, either by doing it directly by using the menus, or click on this label and drag your mouse, or you can directly enter the values. This works for all of the objects. And look at this. I'm not convenient with the names here, because whenever you create an object, it is a primary responsibility of a 3D modeler to name it properly. So it says it as polygon sphere 1 by default. Please do click that and name the object. Like I'm creating this object in order to create a ball for my 3D scene. So ball, and here I would like to name this as my cylinder. So it's always better to go with the name and choose the names based upon the projects you work on, so it will be convenient to work then. Yeah, so now you guys might know how to work with the objects, and we also learned about the shortcut keys of my interface. I would like to give you a short review again. It's like select an object, press F to fit to screen, then you can use your left mouse for tumbling, and Alt middle click for tracking or panning, Alt right click for zooming in, or you can use a scroll window, F for fit to screen again. Then you can use your Q tool to select or deselect any model. Yeah, and W for movement, and E for rotation, and R for scaling. Yeah, and there's one thing I forgot to tell you in the scale tool. We discussed about scaling in one axis, but not in all the axes together. For that, you have to click at the center of your scale tool and click and drag it diagonally. You could be able to scale it up and scale it down. Hope you could see that. Now my scale value is 4, 5, and 6, and if I bring it down, it will go to 1, 3, 2, 1, 0, and if you go further beyond, it will be minus. Of course, even in minus also, the object would be able to scale down, right? Yep. So let me select this all, press 0, and select this scaling value, press 5.